Hey there everyone, this is Sandy Petersen. I'm going to teach you how to play Orcs Must Die, the board game, the cooperative edition. Now, bear in mind this is a prototype. The rules are actually very far along, and final really, but the components we have don't always have the art. Sometimes that's pretty obvious, but they have the proper rule, the proper text, so we're going to show you how to play it even with our prototype stuff. So, the cooperative game is 2 to 4 heroes. Now, if you're playing alone like I am, then you have to run at least 2 heroes, but you could run more. But normally in the game, you have 1 hero per player. So I've picked Temper and Hogarth, and I've got them here. And so to get these characters ready to go, I need to have a marker to show their health. Temper starts at 8, Hogarth starts at 9. I need to have markers for their super tokens. They're going to be set with their ready use on the top, ready to go. And then they have to have their special weapons. Each hero has 3 weapon upgrades. They have 1 weapon, here I'll just show you, printed right on the character. So you see Hogarth, Temper has his hammers, which roll 1 white die. Okay, but he has upgrades that he can buy that make it better. Next, we're going to set up the war camp. This is done the same every game. Now each game consists of 3 onslaughts of enemies. So we got to set it up for the first onslaught. So take this marker, put it on the first onslaught. The war camp starts at maximum health, so we put it on the 10 marker and it'll decrease as we take damage. Okay, then we have 3 decks of items and 3 decks of traps. Looks like I've got the some of them mixed up, and each deck goes with one of the onslaughts. So here's the first onslaught trap. So we draw 3 random traps and put it, actually, that's the item deck. 3 random items, and we put them there available for purchase. Then we'll put this at the bottom by it. Then we have 3 traps we can buy, and we get 3 traps there. Okay, and then the second and third onslaught will awaken when we get to the second and third onslaught. But for now, we're going to put them over here out of the way. So there's the ready to go. When we buy one of these, then we replace it with a new one. One of the most important decisions you're going to make in the game is what map you're going to use. Here I've chosen to use the cubicle map. So this map starts out, we have a T-junction up here. The arrows show which way the monsters are going to be going, so they're going to go left and right when they hit that start tile. Then we have one here, one here, one here, one here, and a final one leading straight to our rift. So what's going to happen on this map is the monsters that come onto this tile are going to split and go around like this, then rejoin and come on in. There's actually 2 other start tiles for use in later onslaughts where they'll just start there and go on in too. As part of the map, we also have to lay out our army, the enemy army. Now each army consists of 3 creature cards and 3 orc cards. So there's always orcs in every wave, and there's always creatures in every wave. And that's 1 army. This map only starts with a single army. The next thing we're going to do is talk about the skulls. We need skulls. Every map gives you a bonus of skulls based on how many armies are coming in and how high level it is. This map starts with each character having 1 skull. So I'm using these little cubes for skulls, but the real game is going to have either die cut counters or plastic skulls. So I'll take the skulls, I'm going to put them on my character figures here. And now we're almost ready to play. I take my heroes and I put them on the map anywhere I want. I'm all by myself. The monsters are going to come and split, it looks like, because they're going into that start tile. So I'm going to put 1 hero here and 1 hero, and we'll kind of be ready for them. So the first phase of each turn is the upkeep phase, and really not much happens in the upkeep phase at the very first turn of the game, but after that it becomes a very important phase. At this time, if you're playing with more than 2 heroes, you'll have a Rift Lord, and you'll have either a counter or a token if we unlock that stretch goal. I'm using a Shoggoth for it here from the Cthulhu Wars game, but that's the Rift Lord. He's the first player, then it goes around in order after him. The Rift Lord also makes any decisions that have to be made if the team can't agree. Of course, since it's me playing alone, I'll probably be able to agree with everything. Okay, at the start of the, after the Rift Lord is exchanged, then any dead characters, a dead character would be placed here on the war sheet, then he will then resurrect at full health and appear anywhere on the map. So resurrection happens. After this, any characters who are in the rift can choose to spend skulls to upgrade their weapon, to buy items, or to boost the war camp. And you boost the war camp by taking one of your skulls and basically putting it in the war camp skull pool. If you get enough skulls in the skull pool, then you can actually upgrade the rift. And the effect of this is that if your super tokens have been used, they'll flip over so you can use them again, and you'll heal the war camp damage by 1, which currently is not damage, but that's not going to last long, trust me. Next is the Minion Phase. Now, the first thing that happens in the Minion Phase is minions already on the map move. It's the first turn of the game, so no one's already on the map. Then we pull the new cards for this phase. So let's see what we got. We got 2 orcs. So they'll just come onto the map as though they were just marching on from off map. And then we have 2 gnolls. Okay, now gnolls have a movement of 2, and they must seek the nearest player. Okay, they go after players. In this case, they can move 2 spaces. They can either go to here or to here. And since the Rift Lord gets to choose who they're going after, so I think Hogarth's tougher, we're going to go after him. They have to move as a group. You can't split them up. This will split up units that are moving according to their normal rules, but the gnolls always stay together. So, to show you a full minion turn, we're going to go with a turn a little later on in the game. You see, we already got some traps placed, we got some minions on the board. So first you move the minions. The easiest way to do it is the ones that are furthest ahead towards the rift, move them first. So these orcs are going to go here, try to get him. And these crossbow orcs are going to advance to here. We got the kobold, who moves 2 spaces towards the rift because they're fast. And then we have the gnolls, which move 2 spaces towards a player. They have no choice, they gotta go here and attack him. If I had a player here, or even here, they could choose which player they're going for, but as it is, they're going here. So here they come. Then I draw the two new groups, waves that are gonna appear in the starting room, and it looks like I lucked out. I only get 1 crossbow orc and 1 more kobold, and the kobold moves 2 spaces, and the nature of it is that half the units go half this way, but round up and they go this way, so the kobold goes to there. And this is the monsters moving. Now, before they attack, traps go off. Before we do the traps, we're going to talk a little bit about vulnerability and how monsters are killed. Every creature in the game, and every hero, has a vulnerability. For example, Tempers is a sword symbol. Looks like this, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, sword symbols are how you damage units that are like regular warlike creatures, like orcs, you just fight in combat. There's also a speed symbol. And that is for hitting enemies that are agile or fast. There's a brain symbol. And this is used either for hitting enemies that are really smart or magical, like hobgoblin shamans, or for enemies that are so catastrophically stupid that you can outwit them, like ogres. Okay? In addition, on the regular core dice, you get blanks, which are sad, and blanks, which are misses. Okay? Then we have specialty dice for fire dice, and frost, and arcane, and all kinds of things. So and some of these have extra symbols. So we're going to go ahead and work by symbols. This spike trap does a sword damage. Orcs take a sword to kill, at least in the first and second wave, so I can kill an orc. I cannot kill a gnoll because they have a speed for their vulnerability, and this only does a sword damage. So I'm going to kill an orc. Now, the orc had a skull, so I earn a skull, which I put on the skull pool. A player doesn't get this skull because the map killed him, not a player. Now over here, let's see what we got. We got an ice vent which stuns one of them. That means he just falls over and doesn't get to do anything. And we have a quarter pounder which does a wild hit. It would hit anything. Well, in this case, I could kill the stun one, but why bother? Because he's already stunned. So I'm going to kill this crossbow orc. That earns me another skull for my war camp. Now you may recall that the kobold I had started here and ran through this room. The quarter pounder didn't get a chance to hit him because he just zipped right through it. So kobolds are kind of hard to catch with your traps, it's a pain. And I couldn't kill him with my spike trap because again he takes a speed to hit. Okay, after the traps have gone off, I've killed 2 monsters and stunned another one, that's good. Now, the monsters attack. They have to attack as a group. All the monsters in a group attack the same player. So here I've got 2 orcs, they're going to roll 2 dice, and they're attacking Hogarth because Temper is hiding back here. If Temper was there, they could have hit him instead. They rolled the 2 dice, and I got 1 sword and 1 miss. So the 1 sword damages Hogarth a point. Then the 2 gnolls are attacking. They roll their 2 dice. Now, as the waves increase, the monsters will roll more dice. So they roll 2 dice. They got a sword and a brain. Well, the brain doesn't hurt Hogarth, he's a battle enemy, but the sword does, he takes another hit. Now, one of the special features of these dice, especially when you're rolling multiple ones, is that if you get 2 of the same result, for example, if I'd gotten 2 brains, I could combine those to make a wild. So if I'd rolled 2 brains against Hogarth, although he's not hit by brains, those would combine, become a wild result, which of course will hit him and then he's hurt. But I didn't have to do that. At this point, the minion phase would be over. Now, if a minion was in the rift, instead of attacking, I would just remove them from the board and they would damage the rift. That's where they're headed. A small minion damages the rift by 1 point. A large minion damages it by, a greater minion damages it by 2 points. Kobolds are special, even though they're a lesser minion, they damage at 2 points. Gnolls are also special, even though they're a lesser minion, they don't damage the rift at all. They just keep attacking players and go around attacking players forever. And of course, when your rift gets to 0 points, you lose. So you don't like having them get to your rift. So I'm very focused on wanting to kill this kobold because he's going to hit into my rift and damage me by 2 points, and that's bad. These orcs will also damage me, but they're a little easier to kill. So that is the minion phase, and we're going to move on to the hero phase next. Okay, so now we're going to do the hero turn. On your turn as a hero, we start with the Rift Lord, he takes his turn, then other heroes go around clockwise. Each hero on his turn can move, he can attack, and he can place traps in any order. So we're going to have Hogarth go first, he's the Rift Lord, he attacks. He upgraded his weapon earlier, so now he rolls 2 dice. He's going to roll a dice, and when he gets here, he gets a sword and a nothing. A sword can kill an orc. If he got into speed, he could have killed the kobold or the gnolls, which he really wanted to do, but he didn't. So he killed an orc, and he gets the skull for killing it. Then Hogarth is going to retreat to the rift. That way, next upkeep phase, he can buy new items with his new money that he got from killing the orc, and he can also heal by rolling the heal die. Okay, Temper's turn. Temper is going to move into the room with the orcs, and Temper is going to attack. He also rolls 2 dice because he upgraded his weapon, and so he rolls 2 dice. He gets a sword and a brain. Now, Temper's weapon adds a free extra sword result. Now, this is important. The brain doesn't kill anything, but by adding the extra sword result, he can combine it with this sword and get a wild card. So he's going to use that to kill the kobold, which he fears. And that gives him a skull for the kobold. And then he is going to buy a trap. So he's going to go ahead and spend 2 skulls and place the arrow wall there as an extra bulwark against enemy monsters. His turn's over, and we're ready to go on to the new upkeep phase. So that's the basics of how this game works. Now, let's talk a little about the future of this game. What's going to happen is, the next phase, this orc's going to move into here and damage the rift by 1, and there's really nothing the players can do about that, because the orc's going to move before the players do. Then, these crossbowmen, he's going to stand up, he's going to move in here and get ready to attack. And we're also at the end of the first onslaught because we've run out of army cards. So 2 armies are going to be coming down these 2 paths towards our rift. There's no armies coming in here though. In the 3rd onslaught, when these run out, there's 1 army in each of these start rooms that we're going on. So the game really heats up and you have a lot of opposition. And of course, by that time you have your better weapons and the good items and the good traps are starting to fill the map. So you may be able to survive. 2 final points. One is that I mentioned that when you're resurrected, your hero appears on the map anywhere fully healed, but there is a cost, because when you're killed, it damages your rift 3 points. So it's really bad for your rift to be killed, so you don't want to die if you can avoid it. The second point is that you can see all these figures we've got here, these prototype figures. This is about half the figures you get in one set of Orcs Must Die, the Order Edition board game. If you were getting the hero pledge, then you'll be getting about 4 times this, because you'll get like double this number of Unchained Order minions and double this number of Unchained minions, plus a whole bunch of heroes, so it's a lot of stuff.